yoga friends. Today we're going to be working on some hamstrings. I'm going to give you a little extra options to do some fun hamstrings today. So if you think you might enjoy a strap or a block, or if you have an eye pillow or a wash rag for relaxation, anything that you feel might aid in a more restful yoga practice today, you're welcome to go grab a few items. I'm going to have everyone have just a few minutes to get anything together that you might think that be helpful, or you can adjust picture and sound so that you can see me a little bit better. I'm going to move to the mat so you can kind of gauge how this might be feeling the best for you today, for what you might be able to see and what you might be able to experience, maybe changing your sound levels or video and get everything together, grabbing what might serve as a block or a strap. So maybe that's a scarf or a tie. You could even use a blanket. It's just a little more cumbersome, but you might want a blanket if you want extra comfort for your knees or anything as well. And we'll just begin to focus on some deep breathing. So we're noticing our lungs expanding. With each inhale, trying to breathe in through the nose, all the way down to the belly. Letting the exhale flow back out of the belly, back out of the nose. Breathing in through the nose. Helps to clean the air traveling into our body. Breathing out of the nose. Helps to create a little bit more of a calming, relaxing breath. So if you notice anytime that we're feeling anxious or a little unsettled, we find that it's harder to breathe through our nose. Of course, allergy season is upon us, and so nasal breathing may not be available. You may only have access through our throat. But if you're by yourself at home, you can go cleanse your nose out, grab a tissue, and then maybe you'll be able to access a little bit more of a calming breath as we try to focus on the air traveling in through the nose, all the way down to the belly, activating our diaphragm, and then relaxing back out. So as we've gathered in a few breaths, we're noticing our spine being tall, our shoulders resting. Let's begin to rest an ear to the shoulder. Feel the side of the neck opening, the shoulder blades resting. If you're having a little bit of sinus issues, these neck stretches can help to relax the sinuses from either side. So if you notice that your body is draining, sinuses, maybe hang out here for a little bit longer, find a little bit more peace as you naturally help your body to find relaxation. And then when you're ready to come to neutral, we can come to the other side, being mindful that we're trying to relax the shoulder blades, feeling the side of the neck opening. Try not to add any strain to the body, so just enough so that you feel the stretch that feels the best. And again, if you find that you're feeling that extra nasal drainage from your sinuses, you can hang out here as long as that feels comfortable. In our area, we've had a really windy day, which stirred everything up. We have a really cool day, which we naturally create a more shallow breath when we're pulling in colder air. Our breath tends to stay into our upper lungs instead of traveling all the way down into the belly. So to be mindful to focus on. You can say hi to Bella May. She came in to join me. Then with our shoulders relaxing and our spine tall, we can open the palms, inhaling fingertips to the sky. Exhaling thumbs down to the heart. Inhaling, lengthening tall. Exhaling, relaxing down. Let's find one more breath. Inhaling, reaching. Exhaling, resting. Sending one arm towards the sky. The tailbone grounds, the ribs grow tall, the shoulders and the hips begin to extend away from each other as our side body opens. Moving back to neutral, let's trade, guiding the other arm up to the sky, reaching that arm over, hips and shoulders stretch away from each other. Moving back to the center, we're inhaling, lifting both arms, exhaling, twisting to the side, finding length on the inhale, finding twist Through the exhale, do a little relaxation in our spine. Back to neutral, inhaling tall. Exhaling towards the other side, lengthening and rotating the spine. Back to neutral, inhaling tall. Exhaling, thumbs down to the heart. Let's find our way into an all-fours position. Helping our wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips, feeling that neutral spine. Beginning to inhale and guide the rib cage forward, opening the cow. Exhaling as our ribs pull all the way up, folding into calf. Flowing through the spine, inhaling, opening. Exhaling, folding. Letting your body's breath pace guide the movement through the spine as we breathe. Let's find our way into neutral and then maybe add a little side-to-side movement. Shoulders and hips folding in towards each other to relax into our spine. Creating just a little release where we might be finding any extra sensations and get a moment to breathe. Now with our spine tall, let's extend one leg behind us, whichever one you want to start with. The ball of the foot's going to find the back of the mat. We're going to actively press through the back of the heel, through the back of the hips, through the back of the head, and lengthen for just a moment and breathe. Now we can keep the legs still. We can move the straight leg up and down, finding just a little bit of release through our thighs and our hips as we breathe. We can stay with this movement. You can pull the belly in and start to add the left arm, letting both the arm and the leg flow up and down. We can keep this movement flowing up and down. We can lengthen out and add a little diagonal movement. Arm and leg out to the side, and then back to neutral. As we fold in, let's trade. So the other leg reaches behind us, pressing through the heel, through the back of the hip, through the back of the head, lift through the ribs, the collarbone, find that stability through the spine as we're feeling that stretch through the back side of the body, really lengthening here as we breathe. We can continue in this stretch. We can begin to lift this straight leg up and down, flowing through that thigh and hip, get a little length. Take a moment to breathe. We can stay just moving the leg. We can use the arm, opposite leg, flowing up and down. We can keep this flowing movement. We can find neutral and start opening out to the diagonal and then back into neutral. And as we find our way back to neutral, folding in, resting into a position of relaxation through our hips, our ribs, our shoulders, and breathe. Continuing in child's pose, maybe flowing into our kneeling plank, hanging out or exhaling elbows into our ribs. Inhale, flowing, the heart opens. Exhale, resting the hips back. Continuing in child's pose, or maybe we find a downward dog. With our tailbone stretching up to the sky, maybe the knees stay bent, the legs can stretch towards straight. We can flow one thigh forward, the other thigh back. Just a little release through our legs as we rest into our breath. Let our feet find our hands, resting in our forward fold. Our inhale lifts us just up halfway. Let's ground into the heels. Inhale, reaching tall. Exhaling, thumbs to the heart. Inhaling as we lengthen. Exhaling just into an airplane. Let's come halfway. Inhale, lengthening tall. Exhaling into the airplane, just halfway. Do a couple more. Lifting and hinging. Lifting. Now as we hinge, you can stay straight legs. We can start to bend the knees, or you can start to welcome the hamstrings to stretch. Let the knees bend, our ribs relax. Right knee folds. Left heel is underneath our left knee. Arms on the inside, the outside, or we're welcome to use the block. Letting our hips and heart find reach forward with our inhales. Our hips and thighs find reach back with our exhales. So remember, just flowing back and forth a few times, feeling that stretch and release as we breathe. We can keep the movement flowing, We can find stillness. Maybe that front leg extends towards straight. Maybe the ribs sink down and towards the thighs, relaxing for a moment into our breath. Our inhale pulls our hips and heart forward. Our exhale folds us back to child's pose. Taking a moment to relax. Maybe we feel like flowing into our kneeling plank, creating that tall spine, exhaling with control. Inhaling as our lungs expand. Exhaling, our hips relax. Taking just a moment to breathe. As we're ready, helping our right foot find its way into our lunge. Maybe that inhale sends our hips and heart forward. Our exhale relaxes our hips and thighs back. We can continue this flowing movement. Find that stretch and release wherever you're feeling a good resting stretch today. Relaxing into our breath. You can keep the movement flowing. You can hang out. Finding that length in the spine, maybe sinking and find a little bit more intensity with thighs and hips to breathe. As our inhale pulls our hips and heart forward, our back toes find the front toes resting in our forward fold. We're inhaling as we lengthen halfway, grounding our heels, inhaling, reaching all the way heart to the sky. Exhaling, twisting one arm forward, the other arm back. Inhaling tall, exhaling to the other side. Creating reach, creating rotation. Just a moment to stretch and rest into our breath. So find our way to neutral. Our inhale picks up the ribs. Our exhale, we're swan diving down. Let's relax our shoulders, our ribs, our lower back just for a bit. Maybe our head and neck feel just a little bit of up and down movement. Maybe just a little bit of side to side movement. Then we'll up and down again. Sending our left foot behind us. Keeping the right knee over our heel. That knee can be up or down. Maybe we're twisting, turning towards the front thigh, expanding and lifting. Releasing back. Using child's pose or downward dog. Options to hang out. Options to flow through plank or kneeling plank. Maybe we stay. Maybe we exhale with control. Elbows into the ribs. Inhaling and lifting into our lungs. Exhaling, relaxing back. Finding a moment to breathe. Releasing into our breath. Helping our left foot find its way into our lunge. Heel sliding up under the knee. Adding our twist, turning towards the front thigh, expanding the lungs. Resting back, choosing child's pose or downward dog. Maybe we're flowing. Slow the movement through our legs. Feeling that release as we breathe. Option for three-legged dog with the right foot stretching up to the sky. So we have the option to just hang out here. You have the option to tap the toe back to the floor and press the heel back up to the sky. Or from the leg lifted, pulling the leg up further and relaxing it back to neutral. So feeling just a little stretch here as we breathe. We're going to end up sending our right foot forward, finding our lunge. Back heel feels the ground. Opening up to warrior two. Feeling this front outer hip, guiding our knee, stacking it over the heel, stretching our arms wide, hanging out shoulders over our hips. Feel the inner thigh pull the front leg towards straight. Feel the outer hip stretching that knee back towards the toe. So we're lengthening, releasing. Feel that stretch into our breath. Finding that resting exhale. Now as our front leg lengthens towards straight, we're lifting the lower legs, inner thighs start to flow. Shoulders and ribs towards one leg. Shoulders and ribs towards the other leg. Feeling that release through our outer hips, through the lower thighs. Just a little stretch into our breath. Now as we reach forward, bottom hand rests on the thigh, top hand rests on the hip. We're going to feel a little bit of movement from the torso. So we're inhaling, reaching, and then lifting. So think about your hips being stable, but reaching through your rib cage, stretching and relaxing. Now the next time we reach forward, we're finding the triangle of our choice. So maybe our hand continues to just relax on the thigh. We're not pushing into pressure into it. Our elbow can just softly relax on the thigh. The back of the hand can push into the side of the calf, or you can send fingertips to the ground. The back hand can rest at the hip, top arm can reach up to the sky, or reach behind wherever you're feeling stable. Noticing this back hip, we're trying not to have it folded in, but staying open so you feel that length through the back of the head, the hip, and stretch into the spine. Let our front knee deeply bend. Find our way into our lunge. So you can have hands on either side of the front leg or hands on the inside of the front leg. The back knee can be up or down. We're exhaling and pushing the front leg towards straight, back hip behind us. Inhaling, returning into our lunge. Exhaling, pressing back. Inhaling, pulling forward. Feeling that stretch and release through the front leg as we breathe. Now as we come into our lunge, the back thigh is going to have a little bit of movement. Back thigh towards the floor, back thigh lifts back up. Now you're going to send the hands to the ground so they're taking on some weight. The front foot's going to take on more weight, and we're going to pick up the back heel. Now the heel can just be floating off the floor. It can be in line with our back hip, or you can slide it up a little taller, maybe towards the standing splits. So we can hang out here, feeling our ribs resting towards the front thigh. We can exhale back thigh into the rib cage. Inhale, extending, exhaling in. So adding this flowing movement, feeling that strength and stretch as we stretch and relax into our breath. Now as our leg stretches behind us, returning to the lunge of our choice. Maybe we're twisting, turning to the front thigh. Releasing back, finding child's pose or downward dog. Anywhere you're feeling like a good stretch today to hang out. Maybe we're inhaling, finding plank or kneeling plank. We can exhale, elbows into our rib cage. Inhaling, lifting our lungs. Exhaling, resting it back. Finding that moment to breathe. Giving rest into our breath. Alrighty, so option for that three-legged dog, left foot up to the sky. So again, we're going to have an option to stay. You can lower the toe and lift the toe, or from the toe lifted, you can pull the heel further up and then back and toward more of a neutral stance. Now we're going to end up taking this top foot, bring it all the way forward into our lunge, planting the heel under the front knee, grounding the back heel, opening into our warrior two, feeling that reach with that outer hip to engage the front thigh, reaching our knee over our heel, stretching our fingers wide, shoulders relaxed. Now we're going to inhale, front leg towards straight, fingers tall. Exhaling, outer hip draws the knee back to warrior two. Inhaling, tall. Exhaling, warrior two. Just a little stretch and release as we breathe. Now with our front leg straight, let's start to move side to side. So you have your arms out, or you can just notice your ribs and shoulders stretching side to side. Inner thighs are continue to engage, finding that stability in the hips as we reach through our ribs, through our shoulders, feeling that length through our side body as we stretch side to side. Now as we reach towards this front leg, you can feel this front fingertips feel the ground, really trying to lengthen from the back of the heel, the hip, through the back of the head, and feel that stretch in the side body. So we can hang out here. As your body hinges from this hip joint, maybe our elbow rests softly, not pushing in. Or you can send the back of the hand to the back of the calf for a little bit of leverage to help remind this back hip to stay open, the back shoulders to lengthen out. Maybe your fingertips feel better on the floor or that block. Fingertips can lengthen, really trying to feel that stretch through the back of the hip, through the back of the rib cage, the head, and feel that stretch through the body as we breathe. Now as we're deepening the bend in the front knee, relaxing our fingertips either on the outside or the inside of this front leg, whichever feels better. We're beginning to stretch the front leg towards straight, back hip pushing out. Inhaling as we stretch forward, exhaling as we release back. We're reaching towards straight, whatever that means for our bodies. Our legs may not completely extend, just letting your body flow where it feels the best stretch, and maybe that best stretch is the back knee on the ground. Now as we come into the lunge, the back thigh can push down and up. So if you had it down, maybe take a moment, try to push it up. If it doesn't even lengthen, that's okay. We're just activating through our thigh and hip muscles, and we'll stretch and release into our ground. Now as we feel our hands find the ground, we're getting stability through our palms, the front leg, if that foot comes up off the ground. So maybe the foot just floats a little bit. Maybe it comes heel in line with our hip, or you can stretch up maybe a little bit taller, whatever your body's variation of the standing split means today. And we can just continue in stillness, feeling that stretch, or you can exhale, thighs folding in, thighs pressing out towards straight. So as you press in, squeeze the thigh, top of the thighs in. As you exhale, feel the back of the thighs pressing out. So you're kind of helping your brain to allow a little bit more length and stretch in the hamstrings. Now we're going to send the foot back into our lunge. Feel that reach, back knee can be up or down. Maybe we're twisting towards our front thigh. Returning to child's pose or downward dog. Anywhere you're feeling like a good stretch today. Maybe we're hanging out. Maybe we're inhaling, choosing plank or kneeling plank. We can exhale, elbows in towards our rib cage. Inhaling, lifting into our lungs. And exhale, resting. Finding just a moment to breathe. Get the body to relax. Wherever you're feeling a good stretch, resting into our exhales. Just taking a few breaths to find that release in our body. So again, we're going to have that option for that three-legged dog with the right foot stretching up into the three-legged dog. This time, we're going to let this right knee circle. So you're bending the knee, feeling your hips circling, maybe trading out that direction. As we feel evenness in our circle, stretching through the heel, getting a little bit more length in our leg, and then sending it forward into our lunge. Now our back heel comes in a bit. You know that you like a wider stance. You can bring your feet wider apart to the sides of the mat. We're going to begin to walk our hands up this front leg, resting our hands on the hip. Now you're going to have the option, choose the block if you like, but you can keep the front knee softly bent, or you can lengthen the front leg towards straight. If you notice hyperextension where you feel the back of your knee is pushing back, when you soften it, it'll feel just like it's a little bit not stretched out towards straight if you have that ability to hyperextend, but it's the safest option for the joint. We're engaging our inner thighs, engaging the lower belly, feeling that stretch and reach, and then we're going to think about hinging from our hips with a tall spine. So we're inhaling, lifting the rib cage, exhale, hinging the rib cage. So we're feeling just a little bit of a flowing movement as we hinge forward, as we lift back. As you feel like a little bit more range of motion, maybe we lift our ribs taller, maybe we hinge our ribs further, trying to maintain this length in our spine. So if you get to the point where you notice that your ribs are folding in, maybe not going quite as far, going to the point that we can keep the length through our spine as we breathe. Now we're going to end up stretching our ribs towards halfway. If we can get it halfway, that works. If it doesn't quite go halfway, wherever your body allows to stretch, and our thighs come in, you can bend this front leg if we're finding too much intensity. We can use fingertips to the ground or encourage to use the block or a space to lift up the floor to you. Maybe that's a stool or a book. We're going to think about our rib cage pushing forward. We're going to think about our tailbone pushing back. So you're feeling the oppositional reach through the top of the head, through the tailbone, feeling that length through our spine, that stretch in your outer hips, finding breath. Now we're going to have the option to maintain this pyramid intense forward posture. We can feel the hips stabilize and then feel your rib cage rotating towards the front thigh. So maybe we're revolving our triangle today. It is a bit of an intense stretch. So wherever your body allows to stretch, take a few resting exhales. We're releasing down, deeply bending the front leg. And then if it feels okay, we're going to take this front foot back up to three-legged dog, stretch it up to the sky, bending the knee, feel that hip press up to the sky, and you can circle out your ankles. Now we're resting. Find a moment to relax. Maybe we're hanging out, maybe we're inhaling, choosing plank or kneeling plank. We can exhale, elbows into our rib cage, inhaling, expanding the front side of the body, exhaling, relaxing back. Taking a moment to breathe. Let your body find rest into our exhales wherever that is today. So from here, if it feels okay for that three-legged dog, let's send the left foot up to the sky. And again, we're bending this knee, adding that circling movement with our hip. And then maybe trading that direction of the circling movement. Now we can send the heel up to the sky, really pushing through the heel, feeling a little bit more length through the back leg. And then we're sending that foot all the way forward, finding that lunge. Heel slides under the knee. Back heel comes in a bit so we can ground the sole of the foot to the floor. You can widen out your feet if that feels better. Walking up the front leg, finding length, feeling hips, heart, shoulders reaching forward. And again, we can lengthen out this front leg. Find that place that works the best for you. Maybe it's a little bit of a deeper bend in the knees, depending on how our hamstrings are feeling. Maybe it's a little bit more lean. We're just trying to avoid hanging out and hyperextension. Our joints, they get tired, and then over time, you'll start to feel them a little bit more than you're going to want to feel them. So find the stability of the muscles engaging to keep our joints in stability. So with our hands relaxing at our hips, we're going to feel that flowing movement from the hip crease. Inhale, lengthening out. Exhale, hinging forward. So you can start with just more of a relaxed movement. So it doesn't have to be a great big range of motion. It doesn't have to be a great big pace of movement. Maybe lengthening, open, hinging just a little further forward. And noticing where you're feeling the best reach through the body as we breathe. Now as we send our ribs possibly towards parallel, we're feeling the hips pushing back, the ribs pushing forward, noticing that we're trying to keep length in the spine, trying to avoid rounding of any option. Our fingertips can feel the ground or the block or any space that pulls the floor up a little closer to us if that means a bend in the knee. Depending on what we have available, find the best stretch today. So we're thinking about the ribs pushing forward, the hips pushing back. To neutralize your hips, your back right hip might need to pull further forward, but your front left hip may need to pull further back. So just noticing where our body needs to feel that stability and evenness as we lengthen through the back of the head, through the back of the hips. Now we're welcome to continue enjoying the stretch that we've created. We can add the rotation, pulling the rib cage towards the front thigh, feeling the shoulders stacking and extending maybe through top arm. Keep breathing, resting into our exhales. As we're ready, deepening that bend in the front knee, grounding into our palms. Pull the lower belly in. We're sending this front foot up to the sky, stretching it out, maybe bending that knee, and pulling that hip and thigh up towards the sky to get just a little bit more stretch. And then we're resting. Choosing child's pose, maybe downward dog. Maybe we're flowing, inhaling plank or kneeling plank to stay, or exhaling with control. Inhaling, opening, exhaling, resting. Finding a moment to breathe, feeling rest and relaxation into our breath, just wherever that is for your body, resting into our exhales. Now we're going to walk our feet in just a little bit, pressing our tailbone back up to the sky. You may need to soften the bend in the knees to walk the feet in a little bit further. And then lengthening out just as far as our body gives us. Maybe walking in just a little bit further, pressing out. Maybe walking in. Noticing where you can lengthen the legs, maybe lengthen the spine, maybe even peace fingers to our big toes. We might even, with these relaxed hamstrings, be able to feel the elbows bend, the shoulders rest, the head and neck send a little deeper towards the ground. Our tailbone pulls just a little bit taller up to the sky, and breathe. Now with our inhale, let's lengthen up halfway. Push into the heels. We're inhaling all the way heart to the sky. Relaxing down. Add a little sway, a little stretch into our breath. All right. So we're going to move through several different balances. We'll do just the traditional balance, and then we'll move into maybe options for more intensity. So from here, we're going to just find a tree pose to start with. So one thigh is lengthened, the other knee bends, hip can open to the side. And our thigh squeezes in, lower belly squeezes in, grounding our palms, find our focal point, toe can stay, toe can float, foot can feel the calf, foot can feel the inner thigh. So we're keeping the palms grounded for stability, or resting, or reaching. Just a moment to relax into our breath. Feeling just a few resting exhales. Relaxing through our shoulders, breathing into our rib cage, resting into our heads. And we may notice that it was a little harder to find our breath. Many times when we find intense postures, which a lot of individuals feel that balancing poses are intense postures, we might find ourselves having a tendency to hold the breath instead of allowing the breath to flow, that fresh oxygenated air through our muscles, feeling that peace and relaxation with each breath. So we rest into our palms, relax into our fingers, our toes, get a little rest. As we're ready to trade sides, the other foot feels the ground, the other knee bends. Maybe we open out, inner thighs in, lower belly in, grounding our palms. Choose your tree today. Toe can stay on the floor, toe can float, foot can find the calf, foot can find the inner thigh, shoulders relaxing. Taking a moment to breathe, resting into our breath. We're finding relaxation through each exhale. Inhaling in a little bit more peace. Exhaling out anything we just don't need. Always welcoming the breath to allow us to feel stability, to feel peace, to feel relaxation. Noticing that breath, guiding in stillness and rest. Noticing relaxation with each breath. Sometimes we forget we're even balancing. Our body becomes so relaxed and at peace with our posture. And as we're ready for rest, moving out those joints just a bit. So from here, I'm going to give you, I'm going to start with a little more intense option, and then that in work can show you how to come into it from a little less intense option. But if it feels comfortable, come to a forward fold. Inhale, tall, exhale, relax. Now you can do fingertips to the floor. We're going to have the option to do peace fingers around the big toe. You can have a bend in the knee. You can have straight legs. The foot we're holding on to, we're going to try to reach out to the side and then maybe bring it back. So you can do this without holding on to the leg. It just adds a little bit more balance challenge if we're trying to hold on to the leg and reach out to the side. So your choice. And as we come to stillness, relax the hands to the thighs. We're just going to move our spine just a bit to release out any extra sensations. Inhale, standing cow. Exhale, standing cat. And we'll trade out the sides. So again, if you want to do peace fingers around the big toe, and then reaching out to the side and back in. And again, that hand to foot option is not working. Just releasing out, let the leg move on its own. You can also, if the forward fold doesn't work, do this from just standing. Now we're resting. Bring our palms up to the thighs. Just a couple more cat and cow movements. Inhaling, open. Exhale, folding. Now we're going to trade sides. This time we're going to have a little different option. Now as you come forward, again you can do hand to foot, peace fingers, big toe. If you have a strap, you can tuck it around the ball of the foot. We're going to feel the standing foot take on the weight, picking up the foot we're holding onto, lengthening up our spine, pressing through our heel, maybe extending the opposite arm out for counterbalancing, staying with our leg forward, so your outer hip drawing it out to the side, keeping that inner thigh stability, resting into our shoulders. Then we're going to come back in the way we came out, a little bit more intense, resting down, shoulders releasing. So I'm going to do it on the other side. And again, you can do this with a strap. You don't have to start from a forward fold option. You can just lengthen out. And you don't even have to have a strap. You can just lengthen your leg out from standing. It's just a little different option. Since we've relaxed our hamstrings, maybe our body will feel that strength through our core and our legs. So again, you can do peace fingers around the big toe. You can do pinky toe, hand around the pinky toe. Pull through your lower belly. We're going to start to lengthen. Feel that stretch as we reach the heel out from the hip. Maybe the arm comes out for counterbalancing. Leg can be still forward or stretch out to the side. And our thighs stabilizing us. And then we're going to come back out. Where we came in. Hinge. Now if it feels comfortable, we'll lift back up, palms on the thigh again, moving the spine. Inhale, pressing forward. Exhale, relaxing in. Just a few resting breaths. Now as we find ourselves in our forward fold, we're releasing our knees into our child's pose, resting our shoulders just for a bit. So if you want to give your shoulder blades a little release, you can send the hands back by the ankles, rest the shoulders over the knees, taking just a moment to breathe. Now we're going to move into a side plank option, and I'll go from least intense option to most intense option. So least intense, we're going to come forward, make the right knee and toe out to the side for a kickstand. Right palm slides under the shoulder where you're feeling stable in your glenohumeral joint, and lengthen through the top arm or rest the top hand to the hip. Now we're going to have the option to lift up this top leg. Now, if you're feeling like, I think I got a little bit more strength in me, you can bend the bottom leg, lengthen out, bend the top leg, then the bottom leg, and then let that bottom leg lift up and down. Now you can rest the pinky toe to the floor, lengthen out the top leg, and let the top leg lift up and down. Arm to the sky, hand to the hip. If you want to do hand to the floor, you can. You're just not going to be in this lifted rib posture, strengthening through our obliques. Now if you're feeling pretty loose today, you can try to do hand to big toe option in the side plank. And then we'll come back. Let your body rest in child's pose. It's always good to give your shoulders, your wrists, your elbows just a little bit of relaxation in between more intense postures. Letting the body find rest and relaxation into our breath. So again, same options on the other side. If you don't want to be even today, you just don't really feel like the other side, hang out and relax. We'll be done in just a moment. So we can make the kickstand with our left knee toe. We can stretch right arm to the sky or rest it on the hip. And the straight leg on the top has a little option to flow up and down, depending on how we're feeling today. Again, bend the top front knee, lengthen out the bottom leg, and then maybe that bottom leg flows up and down. Just a little different. You can lengthen out both legs. Maybe that top leg reaches up and down. You can have hand on the hip, hand to the sky. Anywhere you're feeling the most stable today. If you like that hand to big toe on the other side, option to extend that leg out as well. And then we're resting back to child's pose, releasing into our shoulders. We can wiggle up the fingers, we can wiggle up the wrist. We can keep arms forward, maybe we stack, fists under forehead, maybe we slide, hands by the ankles, shoulders releasing towards our knees. Wherever our bodies feel a good stretch, let's relax into our breath. Hi, Bella. Did you say hi to me? Now as we're ready, we're going to find place to sit on our tailbone, lengthen out our legs. If you know you like a little extra cushion under the tailbone, you can sit on a throw pillow, fold up a blanket, just get a little elevation in the hips. It can help in forward folding options. We're going to do some balancing on our tailbone, so if you know that might interfere with balancing, you can use it and pull it out at any time. So I'm going to take a deep breath. If it feels okay to have straight legs, we're inhaling our ribs tall, exhaling, resting our chest forward, shoulders, ribs, lower back all releasing here, feeling a few resting exhales. So we're going to grab a hold of our right leg. So if you're touching your feet, maybe the peace fingers find the big toe, maybe your hand finds the side of the foot, maybe the hand feels the calf or the thigh. Pick up the lower belly, and then we're going to lengthen out this right leg. Shoulders relax. Lift through the ribs. Exhale the thigh a little bit closer. Inhale, lifting. Exhaling a little bit closer. Wherever you're feeling pretty stable today, and breathe. Now I'm going to give you a few options. First option is just hang out here. You can hold on it, thigh, calf, or foot. You can add a little bit of movement, leg out to the side, leg back to the center. Maybe get the hips and hamstring connectors in that pelvis area to relax out just a little bit more. If you like compass pose, it feels better for my body anyway when I fold the bottom leg in a bit. And maybe it's a little less intense for you to even fold your leg here. But we're going to bend the straight leg so that the knee is stretching back behind us. This will allow shoulder to come underneath the knee. And so maybe now you can get the opposite arm to hold on to the foot. That same arm as the leg feels the ground. And then you can maybe extend out the leg to the side to compass pose. So it kind of depends on how you feel today. It's always optional. Always hang out here. Always hang out here or here, wherever you feel good about it. Now we're going to trade sides. So remember this leg that you're hanging on to, because we're going to trade legs. So lengthening tall, exhale, resting. Feel a release through our breath. And then again, peace fingers on the big toe, hand to the side. I like that hand to the side option better for this. Now you're going to pick up through the lower belly like you're doing cat pose to stabilize the spine as we lift the other leg out towards straight. Now again, we're holding on wherever's comfortable. Maybe we're not holding on to our foot, maybe we're holding on to our calf. So wherever that is for your body. You may notice that one leg doesn't extend and the other leg does. That's totally normal. Breathing into the space that your body allows for today. So you can keep pulling the leg in just as far as it wants to go, stretching wherever you feel good to reach, trying to keep the length in the spine, and maybe we move the leg out to the side, back to neutral. We can continue this option if you like. The compass pose, I want to give it a try. Maybe this side feels more relaxed than the other. I feel it's a little bit more stable to bend in the bottom leg, and then we'll need to bend in the top leg so that we can wiggle the same leg shoulder underneath so that this opposite arm of the leg can hold onto the foot. The same arm as the leg can press into the ground, and then maybe we extend this leg out to the side and find a little stretch here as we breathe. Now release back out whenever you're ready, returning to that forward fold, little stretch. We're inhale, lifting, exhale, relaxing, and then breathe here. Now I'm going to give you an option to do the splits, and I'm giving you an option to not do the splits also. So the easiest way to have options, if you have a block, you may want to sit on it, and it will give you a little bit more hip release. But we're going to let one knee fold in, externally rotating the hip. The other leg folds back, internally rotating the hip. Now we're going to fold forward. Feel a little stretch through the hips, through the ribs, and breathe. Now you can stay here. If your body naturally relaxes into the splits, it'll be a somewhat easier way for you to do this, but it really depends on your body. So you can turn this into a pigeon really easily. So maybe the back leg just extends and then you lift up to pigeon. Now you can also lengthen out the front leg and then come into the splits. So however you're feeling your best stretch today, and you may feel like this extra support of the block under your tailbone is helpful to keep your body stable and breathing. That was really very funny. All right, we'll come back out. Let's trade legs. So whatever the back leg was will now be the front leg. And you may notice that one side feels better. Again, option to hang out in the Z sit and just relax forward. Now again, maybe we just feel like a pigeon today. So we lengthen out the back leg, bring our hips and heart neutral, and we just find a pigeon. If you like the splits, then you may need to lengthen up the front leg and lift up onto the hips and shoulders and breathe. And then just notice maybe one side is a little different than the other side, letting your body relax wherever you're feeling your best stretch today. All right, so wherever we're at, you can hang out there as long as you like. If you'd like to come into butterfly, then you can elevate the hips if you feel good about opening the hips. You can rock just a bit side to side and breathe and relax. So when you have, I told you options for balance. So maybe we balance in our butterfly. So your tailbone can feel the ground as your pinky toes lift. We can stay in the butterfly. We can send your hands to the sides of the feet, and maybe we open up, and now we're in the seated happy baby. Now you can stay here, you can lengthen out, finding the straddle, or maybe the big toes come together and we find this little extended leg goat pose. Sending the ribs tall, and maybe with those relaxed hamstrings. Feel a little bit more strength in this posture today. We'll bend our knees, rest our shoulders towards the knees, and feel a little release in our spine. Then we're moving back into our reclined position, and you may feel like having a block, or if you have your eye pole, you might want to have that handy within arm's reach for you as we relax, lengthening, and then resting back. Let your shoulders release. Option to stretch the arms over the head and think about the fingers and the toes actively stretching away from each other. We're bending the elbows, resting our shoulders, resting our hips, relaxing just a few. Deep breaths. Now we're welcome to continue here as long as that feels like a good option for our body. We can come into a place to prepare for bridge pose, maybe wiggling those shoulder blades underneath us, fingertips to the heels, ground through the heels and the forearms, inner thighs pick up the hips and the ribs, feeling that length in our lungs. So this bridge pose is awesome after all these hamstring stretches. This strengthens the hamstrings, stretches the front side of the body. And it also is really great for our immunity, allowing that openness in our lungs, allowing that peace and stretch. Now you can stay with both heels on the ground. If you're feeling pretty stable in your hips, your inner thighs, you can start maybe lengthening one leg up to the sky, lengthening the other leg up towards the sky, feeling just a little stretch up and down as we breathe. If you're feeling any extra sensations in the lower back, maybe this isn't the best option, we should keep both heels grounded. Gaze is up to the sky to protect our neck. When we even out our movements or feel like resting in our bridge, we'll just hang out. Then have an option to hug those thighs into the chest, feeling that piece of our spine on the ground in stillness, maybe adding just a little release side to side as we breathe. As our left foot rests, our right heel can extend, exhaling that thigh as close to the chest as it wants to go, holding on to the thighs, or the calves or the foot shoulders, relaxing here as we breathe, noticing rest and release. Option to lengthen the bottom leg towards straight. It may not extend completely, just noticing where your body feels its best stretch today, and find rest and peace into the breath. Now I give you an option to twist with a straight leg. If you know you enjoy the spinal twist with the top knee bent, go ahead and bend the knee. But I will show you an option so you can send opposite hand to opposite leg, maybe at the foot, maybe at the calf, maybe at the thigh. Same arm's leg, relaxes to the ground. Now maybe we just exhale across. Okay, I don't really know what happened, but I'm back. So, just as we're still going, so you can stay with your leg out to the side, twisting. You can come back to neutral, and when you're ready to trade legs, you can hold on to this left leg, maybe lengthening out this right leg, and feel that stretch here as we breathe. And maybe feeling those exhales, sending the thighs a little closer to the chest and breathe. Now we're going to do that spinal twist. So maybe your hand, opposite arm to leg, comes outside, and then we can reach across. Maybe we're just reaching across the middle of the body. It doesn't take much to feel that extra sensations in your outer hip and thigh. You can keep lowering the toe towards the ground. I have a dog in the way, so it's not really pressure. So you can move to wherever you're feeling good stretch. And again, this top leg can be bent, or you can have that extension of the leg. It does add a little bit more IT band stretching, a little bit more intensity in your outer hip and glutes. So if those areas have been sore from any other exercises, so it might feel a good place to relax into that. Now we're going to come back to neutral. Hug both thighs back into the chest. Feel that release in our spine. We can be still. We can rock just a bit side to side. Now, if you're a big fan of plow pose, having relaxed hamstrings is very helpful for a plow pose, but I'll give you a few options. So the first option is just lengthen out the legs and exhale both thighs to the chest. I call it kind of like a mini plow because you're getting a little stretch through the legs and the back and a little folded posture without as much intensity in your neck or head. So if you know that you're having extra sensations in your neck, you may want to avoid plow or shoulder stand. So we can inhale if you want to do shoulder stand, hips up, hands can come to your lower back and stretch tall. We can stay here. Maybe we feel the stability to pull the toes a little closer to the ground. At any point along the way, if you feel that you have too many extra sensations, always having the freedom to release out. And then from the plow posture or that shoulder stand, we'll end up relaxing our legs, resting the arms to the side. Let our feet come wide. We're adding a few windshield wiper movements, thighs releasing towards one side, thighs releasing towards the other side, creating that rest and relaxation into our breath. If you like to do a fish posture to just open up your lungs, I'll show you how to do fish without a prop, but if you have a prop near you, it's significantly easier. But without a prop, we'll send our palms underneath our tailbone, face towards the ground, lifting through your rib cage so you can wiggle your shoulder blades underneath, and then opening the throat until the top of the head feels the ground. My ponytail is finding the ground before my head does, which is fine. Maybe with a little less intensity today. You can also, a little bit easier in life, to have a pillow or a block underneath your shoulder blades. And then that just allows a little bit more freedom and ease to not have any extra sensations in your shoulders or forearms, to hold up your torso as your head and neck relax without any tension of your neck. This is a good posture if you've found yourself in a folded position a lot of the day. This just kind of gives your neck and throat and your chest a little bit more openness from that folded posture all day long. So you can relax in this restorative fish. You can find a more restful position. Maybe the feet want to be wide and the knees come together so your lower back can relax onto the ground. Maybe feel like a little bit more hip stretching today with our knees wide, feet together. Maybe we feel like a traditional shavasana with our feet, legs extended, feet wide, palms open, shoulders relaxing. If you do have an eye pillow handy, you're welcome to use the eye pillow to relax out any extra sensations from the light, from just seeing things that may need our attention today that might interfere with our body's ability to rest. So let's return to that breathing pattern that we began at the beginning of class today. We're trying to breathe in through our nose, all the way down into our belly. Feeling that breath, relaxing back out of our belly, back out of our nose, welcoming that warming breath through the nostrils, that cleansing breath through the nostrils. Noticing rest and relaxation as we breathe. As we focus on the breath traveling down into the belly, we may even notice the abdominals rise up towards the sky with each inhale. Maybe we're noticing the abdominals relaxing into the lower back and towards the ground. Feeling that peace and relaxation into our breath. Finding rest and release. Allowing each exhale to draw out any extra sensations out of our bodies and into the floor. Noticing where our bodies are feeling a little extra relaxing today, and allow a little extra peace through each exhale. And maybe that means that we allow our bodies to maybe find a deeper exhale than our inhale. So we're welcome to maybe count the breath. So our inhale might end up being a count of 3, allowing an elongated exhale. Maybe it's all the way into a count of 6. If it feels too intense to go to a count of 3, maybe we stay with a count of 2 on the inhale, allowing that exhale to be a count of 4. Or if 3 didn't feel like we really expanded our lungs very well, we can inhale for a count of 4 and exhale for a count of 8. Still trying to breathe in through the nose as much as possible. Feeling that rest and relaxation of that elongated breath, helping to rest our nervous system, helping to ease our heart rate, helping to feel rest and release through the body with each breath. So welcoming the breath into our fingers and our toes. Maybe feel a little wiggle in our hands and our feet. Breathing into our wrists, our ankles, relaxing into our lower legs, our lower arms, welcoming any movements at any time. Breathing through our knees, through our elbows, relaxing our thighs, our hips, our upper arms, our shoulders. Drawing the breath into the spine, feeling rest through the tailbone, through our lower back, through our rib cage, shoulder blades, the neck, the back of the head. We're welcome to stay as we are. We're welcome to rest onto our side, maybe into a fetal position, drawing in some of those calming, peaceful breaths through our left nostril, sending out anything we just don't need today through that right nostril into the floor. Feeling just a few relaxing breaths here. And we're helping our bodies into a comfortable seated position, whatever that feels the best for you today. Have little Bella. She's letting me hold her, but she will probably leave me as soon as I let go. We're going to rest our palms, lengthen our spine. Let's take a few deep breaths. Inhaling, fingertips towards the sky, joining the palms as we exhale, thumbs to the heart. Inhaling as we reach tall, exhaling as we rest. Let's find one more breath together. Inhaling tall, exhaling down. Namaste, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be doing a live stream again tomorrow at 2. If you'd like to join me, please feel free to share with your friends. Thank you so much for enjoying some yoga fun today. And hope you have some happy hamstrings after today's practice. Let me know if you have any requests for other classes. Feel free to give me some ideas to travel on to you as you have a great day. Bye, friends.